At this time, I would like to invite the following people to the stage. Former Women's Forum Chair Kusumam Titus, former President Mr. George Matthew, Dr. M.V. Pillai, and Dr. Tiffany Avery. Now everyone please stand up for silent prayer. Thank you. Our next program is lighting of the lamp. At this time, I invite former Women's Forum Chair Kusumam Titus to make the welcome speech.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah. So nice to see all of you here for the first Women's Conference of Pharma this day in New York. I am glad all of you came. I want to welcome all of you to this conference. And thank you for all your supporting us the first time. So many people worked really hard to put this conference together. Finally, this is the day we were all waiting for, and we have put together a very informative program. As you all know, this morning session will be about breast cancer awareness and led by Dr. Sarah Isho. The afternoon session is about happy, healthy, holistic life, moderated by Nirmala Abraham. We have very eminent speakers who are expertise in their fields. They will be speaking to us. When I think of FOMA Women's Forum, we are still in the baby stage. But in 2010, under the leadership of Gracie James, we started this great organization. FOMA is the Federation of Malayalis in America, and Women's Forum is part of that entity. We have conducted 6 conventions, 3 conventions in America and 3 in Kerala. And Women's Forum is always part of the convention. We have never done a conference aside from FOMA convention, so this is our first attempt of this kind. So I'm glad all of you came and supporting us. And in Las Vegas, the theme, we did a Women's Forum conference, and the theme was issues facing migrant women, and the main speaker was Lekha Srinivasan and Sarah Mammon and Thrasiamma Nadavalli. And Sarah, then in 2012, Women's Forum conducted a second meeting in Carnival Glory 2010. That time the theme was Aging Gracefully, and that was led by Dr. Sarah Isho, and then Dr. Ebipilla was also our guest at that time also. And Thrasiamma Nadavalil and Madhu Kottarakara was also speakers at that meeting. This year, instead of waiting until the National FOMA Convention, Women's Forum decided to do a one-day conference. After a lot of planning and preparation, we were able to put this together, this program. We had the full support of our parent unit FOMA executive committee, especially President George Matthew, Secretary Gladson Varghese, and we had also support from lots of other people like Madhu Rajan, Ashwamedham, Janani Publications, Dr. Sarah Isho, Shaji Edward, and all the organizations of in New York area. And we are really glad that we are getting all the support from all these associations and all the leaders around New York area. And on Women's Forum, on behalf of the Women's Forum, I'd like to thank each and every one of us who supporting us. And I had a long speech, but the time is going fast. I thought I just want to welcome all of you to this conference and enjoy this day. And if this is, I said, this is our first attempt. Bear with us. If we are just getting starting. So hope you will all enjoy this program and be with us all day today and enjoy. Thank you. Welcome again. Next one is introduction. I'm going to do the introduction. Good morning again. Welcome to you all.
standing here in front of you with a great pride and satisfaction. I am happy to say the Women's Forum, former Women's Forum, has grown so much and so far since we started this forum in 2009. Now, under the leadership of Ms. Kusumam Titus, we are taking our Women's Forum to the next level. Kusumam, here I am personally thanking you for all the effort and sacrifices you are putting into to coordinate this event in a commendable manner. Congratulations. We planned for this one-day seminar for a very good cause. There will be multiple sessions for today's event. Morning session will concentrate on breast cancer awareness, and the afternoon program will focus on the general theme, a healthy, happy and holistic life. You will be hearing from eminent speakers who are expert in these areas. At the end of this day, you will be taking home wealth of information from these sessions to deal with your day-to-day health issues. I would encourage you all to participate in both sessions. Now, I wish the Women's Forum under the current leadership to move forward with brilliant programs such as this to help our community here in the US and in Kerala. Thank you and God bless you all. At this time, I would like to invite our former President, Mr. George Matthew, to say a few words.
Former Women's Forum Chair Kusumam Titus, other dignitaries, leaders of former, my colleagues, dear friends. Mother Teresa said, peace begins with a smile. So I want you to smile, enjoy the program, because like our chair said, first of its kind is being presented here, the first conference of Women's Forum is presented here in New York City, and I'm glad to see so many people here, and I'm sure many people will be coming as we start the program. And at this time, I would like to congratulate and thank Kusumam Titus and the team for taking care of this wonderful conference. Bringing women in the forefront, empowerment of women, that is one of the goals of FOMA. That is why we are promoting the conferences. That is why we are promoting Women's Forum. And I take this opportunity once again to thank everyone who has taken initiative in coordinating this event. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the event. And I'm sure there are so many people who want to speak at this event. So I'm going to conclude my remarks saying that thank you, Kusumam and the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. George Matthew. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. M.B. Pralay to say a few words.
Scientific or general?
General.
Okay. Former Women's Forum Chairperson, Ms. Kusumam Titus, former President, Mr. George Matthew, and other distinguished office bearers and my dear friends. I just want to say a few introductory remarks, and then because your scientific session is waiting to be launched. This is perhaps one of the nicest things that Kerala women can initiate in this country. You have touched an important topic at the right time for the right type of people for a right cause. The number one killer of women through cancer is breast cancer, both in Kerala and in the United States. I myself am involved in the care of at least a dozen Kerala women with different stages of breast cancer. And if you really want to make a difference in the survival of these patients, early detection is the only way, and probably adequate treatment, rehabilitation, and long-term follow-up. But more importantly, organizations like FOMA will have to take a leadership role in studying the research profile, introducing a research profile and studying the clinical profile of the disease of Kerala women, which appears to be quite distinct from the breast cancer in African Americans, Hispanics, or Caucasian women. I will be touching upon that very soon. Please do not get discouraged by the lack of enough people attending these conferences, because it's almost like an international chess tournament or Olympics. More people would like to know about it through visual media and print media than be present at the venue of these deliberations. So what's going on here should be preserved, especially the scientific component of today's sessions, and preserved as a piece of the archives of FOMA, and if possible put on YouTube, so that Kerala women anywhere in the world should have access to what we are going to discuss here. And with that, I congratulate the organizers for a very well thought out scheme of presentation and for touching upon such an important title like breast cancer in women of Kerala origin, the number one cancer killer of the most beautiful sisters, daughters, mothers, and grandmothers whom I left behind in Kerala and whom I continue to live in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. M.B. Pillai. This is the end of our morning session. So, inauguration. And now I will give the microphone to Dr. Sarah Yisho. Inauguration. And now I will give the microphone to Dr. Sarah Yisho.
I want to invite the panelists. Today's panelists for the morning symposium are Dr. Tiffany Avery, Dr. M.B. Pillai, myself, and Dr. Ming Chang. Please come to the stage. Dr. M.B. Pillai. Dr. Ming Chang. Thank you. So, FOMA Women's Forum could not have chosen a better day to celebrate women's health and to make a seminar about breast cancer awareness, because the Department of Health and Human Services Women's Health Code, Office of Women's Health is conducting a nationwide 1-week Awareness Week for Women's Health from May 12 to 18. So today is the last day of the Women's Health Week. What is the need for a Women's Health Awareness Week? As we all know, most of the women are always doing a double duty, double jobs. We work a full-time job, and then when we come home, we have a full-time job at home. So between all the running around for the kids and the family and your job, the last thing for you to think is about your health. So a healthy woman is the light of a family, and healthy families lead to healthy societies. So the root of the health of a society is based on a women's health, which is most often ignored. So the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is conducting a nationwide Women's Health Awareness Week from May 12 to 18. And I'm really proud that Former Women's Forum is conducting this seminar during that week itself. The goal of the Women's Health Week is to empower women to stay healthy and encourage women to take steps in improving their physical and mental health. So what are the 5 important...
on organizing it and presenting topics that are near and dear to my heart, which is women's health and specifically breast cancer and ovarian and cervical cancer awareness amongst women. So I specialize only in breast cancer. I see breast cancer patients down in Philadelphia, and today I'm going to do an overview of breast cancer screening, diagnosis, and treatment. We're going to end with what you can do to prevent your chances of getting breast cancer in the first place. I'll say that any one of these topics, and this is my outline, in and of itself could take several hours to talk about. So I'm just going to give you a very short sort of taste of all of this, and hopefully at the end of it you'll have a good understanding of what we're doing in terms of treating and diagnosing breast cancer. So we'll start with a little bit about epidemiology, although Dr. Esau covered a lot of it. We'll talk about diagnosis of breast cancer and then different types of breast cancer, because there are different types, and the different types of breast cancer inform us about the prognosis when women are diagnosed and how we treat women. We'll talk about treatment, including surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, and then targeted therapies, which are better tolerated than chemotherapy. And then we'll talk about prevention. So you already heard, and you'll hear again, the lifetime probability of developing cancer among women in the U.S. is actually 1 in 3, which again is more common than you think. And the most common is breast cancer. The risk of a woman in the U.S. developing breast cancer is about 1 in 8 in her lifetime. As breast cancer is the most common among women, you heard the statistics on mortality. Lung cancer is the biggest cause of death among men and women combined. And then with just women, breast cancer is the largest cause of mortality. Among just men, it's prostate cancer, actually. And then the third biggest cancer killer in both men and women is colon and rectal cancer. In 2013, which is this year, it's estimated that there'll be about 230,000 new cases of breast cancer diagnosed in the United States. About 65,000 of those cases will be what is called carcinoma in situ, or CIS. Those are early stage cancers which have not invaded the breast tissue, and we'll talk about those in a minute. About 40,000 women this year will die of breast cancer. And it's interesting to note that after increasing for about 20 years or the last 2 decades, we're finally starting to see a slight decrease in the number of new cases diagnosed in the U.S. These lines just tell us trends in terms of new breast cancer diagnosis in the U.S. based on different groups. Uh-oh, didn't want to do that. Is there a pointer here? Or no? Which button is the pointer? Sorry, I should have asked this before I started. So, which one? Oh, he should have just told me the big one in the middle. Okay, so these are the lines of the new cases of breast cancer diagnosed in the U.S. from 1975 until 2004, and this is by different groups of women in the U.S. And what you see here is among white women have the highest number of new cases diagnosed. Next is African American women, and then here are the Hispanic women, American Indian, and Asian American Pacific Islander. What's interesting is that these are the new cases of breast cancer, but this is breast cancer death rates. And you may have noticed that the lines have switched. And in fact, African American women die the most of breast cancer in the U.S., followed by white women. And this in itself is a cause of a lot of research trying to figure out why different groups of women have different death rates in breast cancer. I think Dr. Pillai is going to talk to you more about specific risks among Indian women. So risk factors for breast cancer, well, number one is gender, and you would think that is kind of a no-brainer, but believe it or not, men do get breast cancer as well. And the men who are at highest risk of breast cancer are those who have a genetic abnormality in their family or have mothers, grandmothers, sisters who have breast cancer. After that, the highest risk for breast cancer is what's called BRCA mutations, BRCA, and this is actually very timely, as Angelina Jolie came out this week in the New York Times that she had had a bilateral mastectomy because she had BRCA mutations.
A stranger to the Malayali community, our own Dr. Emi Pillai. Dr. Emi Pillai is the clinical professor at Thomas Jefferson University Medical Center in Philadelphia. Dr. Pillai received his MD post-graduation in internal medicine from Toronto Medical College, and he did his fellowship in hematology in Auckland University of New Zealand. He pursued a career in the U.S. Through U.S. Armed Forces Medical Center, George Washington University, Virginia Oncology Center, and